action on Schwartz under the gun. Famously pretty confrontational, so it's a little unusual to see him being so sheepish here with these chips. He does eventually toss in a call. Maybe he's a new man.
If you raise, I'm going to go all in, so don't even bother.
Maybe not. Right on cue, giving Benjamin a lick of the tongue. He'll come along with 5-6 offseed. And somewhere beneath that Kermit the Frog mask is actually Tony G. No doubt he'll be looking to ribbit up today. See what I did there? Frog, ribbit, Kermit, ribbit up. Anyway, 3-4 suited for Muso. She'll check and take us 3 ways to a flop. And as you can see, Luke Schwartz way ahead against 4 undercards. And with everybody getting a small piece of this flop, it's going to be a good spot for him to try and get some value. He does lead for 30k.
Well, you do it, innit? I'm going to call you. Just do it.
Call from Benjamin.
This guy probably thinks he can angle me like this.
And it looks like Vanessa's considering a raise here. But I actually think that Colin's going to be the best player the vast majority of the time. She's going to get far fewer folds in a multi-way pot like this, and when she does get it in, she's going to be in pretty terrible shape with a draw this week. Plus, raise fold in a draw like this sounds about as much fun as rewatching the Sharknado sequel.
This guy, innit? Just wants to get every little angle of money.
And Luke really tearing into Benjamin. I'm not sure exactly what he's done, but Luke genuinely annoyed here.
Pathetic, actually. You think I'd do that at like 35 years old, just try and angle people like that?
Maybe Benjamin showed him a Doug Polk tweet off screen or something.
Well, whatever, I'm not going to fold anyway. We'll see, yeah. You're not going to bet into 2 of us anyway. You think I'm praying I'll smash anyone heads up anyway? It don't matter if I come 5th. Don't matter if I get knocked out now. You think that king hits you? You think I believe in a million years that you could hit the king now?
Well, as hilarious as this rant is, Schwartz is actually speaking a lot of sense. Given Benjamin's position pre-flop and the fact that he didn't isolate, then it's really difficult for him to have 2 pair here.
Yeah, when she checks and I check, if you bet, I'll just go all in because I just don't care. I'll just be too tilt if you bet. That you'll just have it in your eyes so fast, like this. So far.
I wonder what it's like for Hellmuth being on the opposite side of one of these blow-ups for a change.
Oh, it's up to her? Oh, no, you checked. Oh, I thought it was on you. Alright, big man, go on. Do your little angle bet. I bet.
You really did.
Benjamin can't really get his head around what's going on either.
Me in a bad spot now.
Do your bet. You'll see how.
Probably not used to his opponent literally telling him what he's going to do.
You would. To give your word to the camera.
Law said it's okay? Really? And you think it's okay?
Go on then, do your bet. Are you slow rolling us all for?
I'm not sure if Benjamin thinks he's value betting here. But Luke has announced that he's going to move all in, and I don't think it's going to be enforced, but pretty ballsy bet by Benjamin here.
I just feel to push just because he's such a tilter.
And I think tilt will be the only reason to shove here. I'm well on board with a call, but I actually think that shoving is turning these jacks into a bluff.
So sick that you got a king high flush draw, innit?
And it's interesting that Schwartz is giving Benjamin some king X now, because he quite logically ruled those out earlier on. And right on cue, Luke shoves, and this is a pretty questionable play. And wait, is Benjamin going to call this? I mean, Luke's tilting, but this is... Benjamin does fold.
Look, I've got 2 jacks here. You don't think I mess about? My heads up game, I'll beat everyone in this whole party poker. It don't matter if I come back.
And Luke's acting like he's run the bluff of the century here. Does someone want to tell him that he had the best hand?
I think you can angle me. You just got so pwned, it's a joke.
You had the best hand, bro.
Like a bit of that, innit, still. He thought he could angle me all day, innit? Thinks he's 10 years older than me, so he knows a little bit. Think I care?
Don't bash yourself with aces too. That would be very unfortunate.
What makes you believe you're going to get aces?
Pass.
Raise again.
Raise.
Hellmuth with just 1 ace, but it's going to be good enough for him to open from middle position. He opens ace 5 off.
Cool.
Announces he's going to open every hand, but we'll wait and see how true that is. Black flattened 9s on the button. And Hellmuth's going to need a lot of help here. He's out of position and dominated. difficult one to get yourself out of. But an ace and 2 5s is a good start, and he checks very quickly.
Check.
So does black, and I like this check by black. Often when the preflop raiser checks, he's going to check call you, and that's not a problem for black now.
6,000.
Completely reverses the tide with that 9 on the turn. Now Hellmuth's down at 7%. Hellmuth leads for 6k, and it's quickly called by black. No messing around here.
Check.
And I am surprised to see Hellmuth go for a check raise here. I think when Andy checks back flop and just calls turn, he's representing either some weak showdown value or maybe a turn draw. But lots of the turn draws have made a pair now, so they're going to want to check back as well. And with Hellmuth blocking all of the value, I just feel like Andy's going to check back this a little too much to be able to check raise. And with 9's full here, black's going to obviously bet this time, but let's just see how much damage this is going to do to Hellmuth.
Raise it.
Raise.
And Hellmuth does come in for a check raise, so as Amy Winehouse once said, action's going to be back to black.
26,000 more.
And good sizing by Phil here. Black's not going to want to call much more with worse.
All in.
All in.
And there's the shove from black, and Hellmuth's going to hate this. It's really hard for him to have worse here.
Fishy, fishy, fishy. Who knew I'd make a full house this early in the game, buddy? I think it's bye-bye Phil. I don't know how I can lay this down.
You're the best.
I'm trying to lay this down, but I can't do it. How much does he
Rub
have?
down some Tony G, but
Did he turn 9s full on me?
Phil knows. He just called his exact hand.
53,000.
I think if Phil thinks this through, he can get away from it. He's certainly good enough. Surely black flats everything worse.
Well, this is what it's going to take to get me out of the Premier League. Hands like this one, I guess. I can't lay this down.
I think you can, Phil.
6 full is good.
And Phil does make the call. Kind of knows his beat when he does it.
Ace 5.
No, I had nothing. Not even a pair. 7-8, I made a straight in the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Phil's still bluffing.
7-8.
Claiming he's got the 7-8.
Sucked into.
Made a straight in the end.
You've got a feel for him.
Fish. What the
I feel bad for you, Phil. I feel bad.
I flopped a full house, and I'm out.
Oh, blow up imminent.
The rest of these players are on with 4s and 5s and 7s and 8s and 9s.
Oh my god.
I flopped a full house.
It's happening.
And I'm out.
It's happening.
So sick.
Wait, is this what
I like
DEFCON 1 feels like? And you can't tell me Party Poker don't deliver. A table of absolute superstars here. Roland DeWolf, the first of them to speak.
I mean, you've looked at that hand 17
Not that he seems to know too much about it. He does fold.
If you don't stop swearing, they're going to take you off.
Raise.
And Jack 6 suited for Androlas. An optimistic open, but players have just agreed to reduce the blinds, so it probably feels cheap. He makes it 150 to go.
You can actually play poker. More for the viewer. We're not playing. You can actually play poker.
I check ace queen,
You've
everyone
got a
checks
big advantage
around.
playing
Like,
deep.
no one bets.
I'm sure Rob wouldn't mind the blinds a bit bigger here either. He finds queens, makes a sizable 3-bet.
When it's smaller than
Makes it 700. Junk for Romanello, he folds.
With Larry Moe and Curly here, raise, raise, raise. I just want to pick up a hand back here and pick up 8,000.
An ace-king for Adenia.
Okay.
Likely to be in decent shape right now, but
And I got
not quite strong enough to play for
Larry
stacks
Moe,
this
Curly,
deep.
and Shrimp right here.
I like this call.
you decide, Mike, I'm with you.
Probably dominates a chunk of Rob's 3-betting range, so flatten allows him to capitalise on this post flop.
I'm all in.
He is in position. And what a spot for Tony G. He finds aces and... Did he just shove? And Tony does shove. A little under 90,000, and that's enough to put Young and Adenia both all in. And this might look insane, but the Tony G effect definitely comes into play right now. Rob announces his hand, and he needs to be careful here. It is multi-way, so there's a chance his hand will get called dead, but probably for the best right now.
That's good to know, huh?
And he does shove, and you can't really blame him.
Calling as well?
We've seen Tony G do this before, and he's as likely to have 7-2 off as he is to have aces.
I'm gonna be stacked. You called? Really?
Cancel the taxi!
Well, cancel the taxi's the chance, but I can see two guys that are still going to need one.
See what happens when you lower the blinds?
So really blaming the blinds. I blame this cold deck.
4,000, 8,000.
I think we should stop the challenge.
Queens.
No one's going to come up Victoria. No one's going to come up
Just moved away, man, right?
And you have to feel for Adenya here. It's such a rough spot.
Of course you know what I got. Everyone knows what I got. There's no other hand.
His hand is super under rep, and that might have an impact on Tony's range a little bit, but it's hard to know for sure, and it's such a big shove. And Tony, he's showed up with 7 high in this spot.
You made a big mistake, Tony. You had your win. It's just gone.
It literally comes down to maths, and he's getting better than 2-1 on a call here. He's only going to need to win about a third of the time. Rob's already announced he has queens, so it's all a case of Tony's range. If Tony shows up with jacks or 10s here, it's an absolute money print for Adenya.
If you call, I'll give you a bonus. If you're right.
Even kings isn't a million miles away.
Honestly.
Floor for 20,000.
Alright, come on. Let's heads up.
He only really needs to worry about aces and ace king.
He's not heads up. It's not heads up. He's over the
Call the
line.
clock.
You've gone over the
No,
line.
it's not calling.
If Tony was to show ace king here, then they'd both be in pretty rough shape against Rob.
It's only been like a minute.
Definitely don't envy him the spot.
He said it's got to be dead.
No, they're just kidding. Relax. I'm just going into one.
Tony's doing a great job of selling this.
Can I show you one card?
No. Yes, you can show one card. Why not?
I'll show you one card.
He can't.
If he objects, no, wait. If I show you one card,
No.
For him, it's a decision.
It's a real bad decision on his part.
it's up to him. It's up to him.
It does matter. He has to.
It does matter.
I'll show you one card.
It does matter.
No showing cards. No showing cards. No showing cards.
Not showing a card probably for the best. Seeing an ace almost certainly going to make Adenya fold.
I'm all in as well. We're both all in.
Biggest pot.
I'm all in. I've got to. I've never been this nervous. What are you doing to me? I love how this guy's thinking.
That's 250, call 250, all in.
Yeah. No, it was 700. He called 700.
I'm just gambling with you, Tony. You know. I don't think you've got much. So.
And Rob's claiming he's gambling, but I'm going to bluff catch this one. He's already told us he's got queens, and the 20,000 that he's already invested kind of supports that. There's definitely easier and cheaper ways to get a bluff through.
Oh my god, it's legendary.
Freeway.
Aces.
Ace king.
Well, Adenya makes the call, and this spot's huge.
Aces, ace king,
If
and
dropping the blinds was to increase action, well then, mission accomplished.
oh, I thought he. That's
Aces.
incredible.
And you should stay up to that. You deserve a flush. Can we run it 3 times?
And everybody on their feet now, except for Adenya. He looks absolutely sick. And who can blame him? Just 10% equity now. Small comfort in that Young doesn't have a queen of diamonds, but he's still going to need a lot of help here.
Right, safe flop.
And he showers for Adenya now, drawing dead on that flop.
I didn't even watch the.
Young's not too far behind. Just 9% equity now. He's going to need one of the 2 remaining queens.
Pair the board.
Find the queen.
Again.
No help on the turn, and Rob with just one more shot at this. He's going to need a queen.
So Tony didn't have a pot. He had a raise.
And the 8 of hearts won't do it.
I am the greatest. To get all the money in like this. Who can do this in the whole world? There's no one. Only Tony G can do this. This is the greatest show in the world, Mike. Who can do this? Like you get a net calling me like this?
And Tony giving more rub downs than airport security.
More of them.
Raise for
Give him a
200.
refill.
Make it 700, and then all in. 4
I'm gonna tip like no one's tipped ever before.
I'm not sure what I can do about that.
No, you can't. He
He's
can
the
call.
pole.
He can't call with that.
Awkward.
40,000 pounds, guys. It's easy.
And Tony G dishing it out.
Home viewer.
Not renowned for his modesty and victory. There is such a thing as a bad winner, Tony.
Most sporting thing now for all the viewers to see is you to give everyone a chance to get their money back.
Yeah, I'll give you a chance to get it
He
back.
started talking. I knew he.
It looks like Adenya's going to reload here, but Rob's had enough.
Good job of selling it.
With you all, yeah?
don't think he can beat himself up too much though. It's so hard for him to fold there.
Every time you've put it in today, you've had it.
I've bet a few bluffs.
Tony, you have to stay for the whole. You can't leave now. It looks really bad.
You shouldn't leave now.
Relax, Roland. I don't think Tony's the type to hit and run.